Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another Zoom conversation. This is recorded, and it is a conversation. It's not necessarily an interview today with backcountry Gary Paull over in Darrington, Washington. Gary, thank you for your time on a Sunday morning. What's the weather report like this morning?
Uh, the weather report here is it's snowing lightly. We've got about 4 inches on the ground out here.
In Darrington.
Yeah,
Okay, down low. So what's it like up at Baker, you suppose? How many inches there?
I looked yesterday and there'd been over 2 feet of new snow yesterday, so I'm not sure where we're at today.
Well, I know where you'll be at tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday as well, up there skiing. So please have fun for all of us. Gary, let's get right into this. And viewers, this is a conversation about season 7 of Nick on the Rocks, the PBS video series. These episodes are 10 minutes long, and Gary is the field producer. And this is our first chance right now to talk about ideas for the upcoming season, filming this spring and this summer and this fall with Brady Lawrence, videographer. So we haven't talked to Brady. We haven't talked to Sarah, the executive producer. Hell, we don't even know if it's officially happening, but we're going to have this conversation anyway. Gary, let's get going. You've got some ideas. What's the top of your list? What's an episode that we absolutely must do this summer
Ooh.
for the program?
Well, I've got a bunch that are kind of tied,
Okay,
I'd say, but in keeping with the Cascade A to Z,
good.
a couple that came to my mind pretty much right away were Cathedral Rock up at the head of the Cle Elum River, which is some kind of volcanic plug adjacent to Mount Daniel,
Okay.
Snoqualmie Batholith.
Let me hold you up
Um,
right there. So viewers, we're thinking about episodes that need I think two hallmarks for each episode. It needs to be scenic. There needs to be enough to work with visually for Brady and his drone and his cameras and everything else. So we have to have a beautiful area, and Gary knows that. And then we also need some kind of geologic morsel that might be surprising to people. I think I just realized that right now, Gary. Instead of just like, here's a little piece of geological information, I think the best episodes are the ones where people go, yeah, I kind of knew about that place, but I thought it was this, and you're saying it's that? Huh,
yeah,
that's kind of odd. So is there an angle there? Are we up in the Snoqualmie Pass area essentially for this Cathedral Rock?
uh, yeah, head
More or
of the Cle
less?
Elum River.
Okay,
So, and we have the interesting thing that I really didn't realize until fairly recently that Mount Daniel and its neighbor Mount Hinman they're completely different, but they might be
okay,
more similar than we think because they're
okay.
maybe about the same age. One's intrusive, one's extrusive.
Huh.
And we have a possible caldera right in the area of Cathedral Rock also.
Oh my God, really? Okay. Are we
Yeah,
red? Are we red with this?
we're definitely red, very red.
Okay. Well,
See,
maybe I should
got my booster.
expand. Yeah, maybe I should expand on this. I like this idea, and maybe this coming Thursday, I'll just do more with these landmarks you're talking about. You're going to be busy skiing, but if I have enough to work with, maybe I can dig in knowing that it will be fitting in nicely into the alphabet, but also potentially is the top on Gary's list. I was hoping we would do something up there anyway, because that tie to Liberty and those young rhyolites in the Teanaway, that's pretty tantalizing. Okay, so,
Yeah,
so so Cathedral Rock is the centerpiece in your mind?
yeah, yeah, I think
Okay,
so. And I don't know that we need to go up on stand on top of it or anything, which would be
right,
exciting and maybe
right,
challenging to get Brady and tripod and everything up there. But
right.
you can see it well from the end of the road, and we could hike up and get some samples. It's in the edge of the swamp, so there's some interesting interaction there too.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And permitting, is that a problem there? What kind of land is that?
That's national forest land. The Cathedral Rock itself is inside the Alpine Lakes Wilderness. I don't know that we would need to go really inside there to film. We might want to be similar to like Yellow Aster, maybe where we
Okay.
hike up and not drone there, but drone outside.
Okay. So Cathedral Rock in the 20s, Snoqualmie Batholith is nearby? Like it's kind of related to the Snoqualmie batholith? It must be.
I think so. It's mapped on it's interesting on Tabor and Crowder's map. It's mapped as a TCAO, which is a volcanic Ohanapakash period on their map, which is the
Huh.
same as Mount Garfield, which is over in the Middle Fork, Snoqualmie, that we went to see one time.
Right.
So, and I'm just a little suspicious about those things right now because of the Mullen paper and the much younging of the Mount Rom area up at the north end of Ross Lake with the new dates up there.
Okay, this is
So
perfect. It's
there we go.
perfect for this summer. It's perfect for what I want to do this coming Thursday. So thank you. That's a gift that is sold many different ways. Let's move on to your list. So that was number one, but you're saying you're tied for top between three or four ideas. What's
Oh
next?
yeah, yeah. The next one would be how can we not do Goat Rocks?
How can we not do goat rocks?
And
Okay.
I've not been deeply into Goat Rocks that many times, but there's I really liked the video you did with Hannah up there last year, where she was going to rappel down the cliff to get some samples of the
Yeah. Yeah.
Devil's Horn
Right.
caldera there, and that would be a spot I could see we could do some filming there, and Brady could fly his drone down the hill, so we don't have to scramble
Yeah.
down there,
Yeah.
and
Okay. So
we could
it could be a goat rocks Tefra show. Is that
right
your
or
immediate thought?
maybe yeah, or maybe a little broader than that, where we can maybe hike in up to where you guys went last year up on Hogback Mountain from the White Pass ski area and get
Mm.
views in of the Goat Rocks.
Yeah, hiking on the PCT and the hogback
Yeah,
and yeah.
and we do
Well,
have
we're
our buddy Jake from Washington Pass can
oh
help
Jake,
us out with permitting there, I think.
Jake's one of the good ones. I'll have
Yeah.
to put a photo of him on screen on Thursday just to butter him up a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would like that.
Okay.
He's been
Uh
watching.
Good. Has he? Okay, good. Um I like that. And one of mine was Tiatanandasite, which is a totally separate show, I think, but I think of the Nick on the Rocks in the olden days, before Brady and you. I think we botched that episode. We did. I wrote it incorrectly, and it was just totally bland and vanilla, and I don't think it worked at all. And so, if there was a specific source of the Tiatanandasite all the way down to the Fred Meyer at Yakima, and that hand sample of that Tiatanandasite is so gorgeous, and even an ice story where the Tiatan andesite is flowing down this valley during the Pleistocene, and is the ice in the valley or not? Like, so there might be two Goat Rocks ish type episodes that are potential. So I just went to my list there. Sorry. Good. I
Oh,
like it. And so we got Jake, we've got Hannah as a resource, we got Daryl Gussie as a resource, we've got all Paul Hammond's maps, we got plenty to work with that show. But you're drawn to the ash. It is an impressive outcrop for sure. Uh, and then yeah, plugging it into well that call. I don't know. By the end of the month, maybe we'll learn more about the caldera that they think is there as well.
yeah. And I was up there last summer in Conrad
Yeah,
Meadows area, which is the head of the South Fork Titan, and there's another just big exposure of the stuff there too.
of the tephra.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Wow. Huh. Okay. I love it. I love it. Okay. You're two for two, Gary. As far as I'm keeping track. I'm keeping score. Yeah. Bye here. Cheers to you, by the way. Cheers to you.
Oh, hey, cheers to you, Nick, and cheers to Kirk
Kirk from Philomath.
in Philomath.
Okay, you're two for two. How about your third idea, which may be a dud? Just kidding.
Okay, here you go. And sticking with the beginning of the Cascades again,
Hmm.
Mount Pilchuck.
Mount Pilchuck. So we're gonna surprise the viewers with a near trench magma whammy.
We're going to give them some paraluminous
Hmm. right.
Neat
And
to
the
chew
old,
on.
yeah, little right. They didn't see it coming. The Paraluminous. This is too old for the Cascades. I know we're in the foothills of the Cascades. This is too old, but look at this beautiful rock. Is it gorgeous enough? Is the area beautiful enough?
Uh, I would say that the Mount Pilchuck granite is much prettier than what I saw down at Spirit Lake,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think.
Throwing shade on Spirit Lake. I love
I
it.
mean,
Okay.
the thing that was cool to me about Lake, it was
Yeah.
like this granite, but it's almost like the wrong color.
You talking about that hand sample yesterday?
Yeah, that one where you were
Yeah. Yeah, the mint
busting
chocolate
open,
chip. Yeah.
yeah, or the
Uh,
mint ice cream.
right. I'll find it. Um, okay, so this is closer to the Squire Creek granite looking thing. I thought that was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Okay.
without the mafic enclaves.
Okay. Well,
And then the
that's on my list, by the way. Go ahead.
okay,
Go
well, we
ahead.
could go there too. But
Yeah.
the other thing about Pilchuck is, I mean, it is an incredible viewpoint of the whole Puget Lowland
Mm.
from the mountain. And I mean, people go up there all the time. You can look down, and there's 3 or 4 million people that can almost spot where their houses are. So it's very recognizable, and
That's important.
it's an odd shape kind of thing. I mean, it sticks like a thumb way out into the Puget Lowland compared to
Mm.
anything south of there, with the exception of along the Seattle Fault and uh, Cougar Mountain, Tiger Mountain area, which also sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, I think you've hit on that as well. I've kind of forgot that's also maybe one of our criteria for these episodes. Is it a known place to many, many people? Is it a landmark that people can easily see? That doesn't have to be the case, but it helps, I think, occasionally if we have an episode like, oh my God, that's where I live. I know that place, or
Right, right.
whatever.
Or
Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, thousands of people go up there every year.
Huh.
We would have to do that another one midweek. It'd be busier than
Right. Huh.
uh, Lake Serene, even possibly.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And Bald Mountain is like right up there too?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think you're three for three. Yeah, I like that one. If
So
the rock is good looking, the scenery is wonderful. It's an urban known place. I-5 is zooming right down there. Great.
we'll leave this part alone where it kind of comes up through the Western Melange. We'll leave that alone.
Hey, I've fallen in love with the Western Melange. I was completely nonplussed. Is that the right phrase? When you were talking about the Western Melange for the last 5 years straight, but I finally get it. I finally get how important that is. So yeah, you don't have a Western Milan show in mind, do you?
I don't know that I specifically had that. No, I
Okay.
don't see it.
Okay. All right. Well, we
Oh,
kind of
wait.
did.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I have a
Okay.
Belfast Melange.
Oh, see. Well, let's keep going, Gary. I love this. Thank you. Whether they're cascades or not, let's just keep going.
Well, I kind of had this thing where we'll do different ages, the very beginning, which is Pilchuck, and then we've got something in the red, then we've got um, Goat Rocks, and then Pat the pilot and I, we've been discussing a few things, and he has
Oh,
a bigger airplane available for us, possibly.
a four-seater?
Yeah,
Okay.
Brady fits in there, and we could figure out how to do that. But
Hmm.
we had such a nice flight with him last fall around
Yeah.
Glacier Peak. It's like,
Yeah.
well, the logical thing to do would be to go up and do kind of a loop around Mount Baker and go straight down the spine through North Cascade National Park
Oh,
and back. And I mean, people were pretty blown away, I think, by this rugged country they saw um, on the Glacier Peak flight. Well, this would show them some really rough stuff too, that people just you can't even picture it from the highway.
they were blown away by the rugged stuff, but they were also blown away by you, Gary. Let's just go ahead and say it. So I can imagine you if we do a scouting video with Pat again and you're rattling off these peaks, we know how that's going to go. And
I'm
that would
all
be
for
another
scouting.
thrill. Yes. Okay. Um,
And that would
well,
cover a range of exotic terrains.
well, I can hear Brady right now. What do you want me to film the whole thing from the whole 10-minute episode is from the plane?
No, I guess my thought would be um, to do it on the ground along the Cascade River Road up going up towards Cascade Pass, and that's something we could do in the spring. The road's closed, and we can walk up. It's quiet
Okay.
until I just said this on the Zoom call, but I mean it's a gorgeous spot where you can get some really spectacular views on a nice day of the peaks there, but then kind of combine that with some aerial video.
If we get this ninth episode greenlit and it's a 30-minute episode, I'll say it. I mean, we've asked for that. We were thinking Brett's and the Ice Age floods, but I think maybe the pilot and the North Cascades could easily be plan B for a 30-minute episode. I don't know. Like maybe I'm also anticipating Brady go, I don't know if we really need a flight for a portion of a 10-minute episode, but Pat's willing. We should do it somehow, however we end up using it. Let me turn off my
I,
space heater, by the way. Thing's too
yeah, and I
loud.
was thinking about a couple potential longer shows.
Well, you were.
Yeah, one of them would be going out to Cape Flattery or Shy Shy Beach on the northwest
Wow.
tip of the peninsula,
Wow.
and be able and look at some of the rocks out there, the sea stacks,
Why would
and
that be a longer show?
that could be a longer show. The other long show would be going up to the Holden Mine
Hmm.
and doing a bunch of shooting up there, maybe talking a little bit about the minerals, why the minerals are there, and also the adjacent adjacent area.
Well, let's talk more about those two ideas. Why would the C-Stack episode be a long one? Why wouldn't it just be a regular short form version?
Um, because it's a long ways
Yeah,
to get out
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and there's some very interesting rocks that are out there at Shy Shy that are Jurassic on the Olympic Peninsula. The oldest rocks on the peninsula are out there, which is something that got scraped up as
Hmm.
Silesia was, bulldozing its way um, into North America.
Wow, I had no idea.
And then
Okay,
there's all these beautiful turbidites that are exposed out on the beaches, also right on the beaches that are all tilted up, lyre formation, and whatnot.
okay.
And that
Uh,
could be combined with some more kind of like if you wanted to do onshore or shoreline stuff is Dungeness Spit,
hmm.
which is on the way out there.
Well, my instinct is that would be one short episode, and then we combine it with Dungeness is another short video, or we cross over to Victoria and do something on Vancouver Island. And we bring multiple colored shirts, and we just are filming two episodes simultaneously. I think that was a headache for Brady, but I thought it was kind of fun to do it that way. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that would give
yeah,
me some work to do.
yeah, right, right.
Shirt monitoring.
Yes, exactly. Uh, and Holden Village, that wouldn't be a mining episode or like a environmental episode. What would be the slant on the Holden area? You know that area better than almost anybody.
Well, I guess I'm thinking you have multiple things going on up there. You have the Railroad Creek, young
Pluton.
youngish Pluton. You have
Okay.
the older Cascade River schist. You have
Yeah.
the Marble Mount dumbbell
Oh,
Plutons.
yeah.
You have Cloudy Pass batholith right up the road, younger yet. So there's a
Ah,
whole lot of stuff going on in a pretty small area, and all of those things we could essentially we could walk to all those things,
huh.
and then you have a mile long tailing there that has been the guts of Copper Mountain and spilled out
Hmm.
into Railroad Creek Valley. So there's a lot to see there.
Hmm. Could we do two different Nick on the Rocks episodes if we go up to the head of the lake? Well, I've never been to Stehekin or Holden. It's embarrassing to say. Are there two shows there?
I had a Holden slash Stehekin
Uh,
on my list here, and they
uh,
I was thinking they could be separate. You could do one, do or the other, and
hmm,
they could morph those into longer shows or just
hmm.
do shorter ones. Stehekin in some ways might be simpler because you're
Okay.
kind of more right in the core of the Skagit gneiss.
Yeah. Uh, just a second here. Viewers, you might be going, why am I listening to this? This seems like just a private call between two people. It kind of is, but you saw the episodes last year where Gary and I were out scouting and filming, and Gary was showing me ideas, and we were workshopping ideas. And I loved making those scouting videos, and it also really helped be efficient when we finally started dealing with Brady and the boss, Sarah, at PBS in Seattle. So this is just an extension of that. This is almost like this is almost like Gary and I are out doing a field video, a scouting video, but we're kind of just scouting for the scouting videos, I guess, is what we're saying. Um, and we should stop, Gary, I think, talking about the long form stuff because it's a long shot, number one. And if it
Yeah.
does come through, I think Brady's already locked off on the Brett's thing. So let's just keep going with short
Okay.
video forms the rest of today. I've got 15 on my list. Let's keep it going here for a few more. You got another one or two, and then I'll throw in a couple of my ideas.
Okay. So San Juan pizza boxes,
Okay, where would we go for that?
Lime Kiln Point,
Okay.
Ferry. Maybe we'd get off on Orcas and go look at the
Yes.
Turtleback. Uh,
Yes.
Washington, possibly hit Washington Park again
Hmm.
briefly. I,
Hmm.
but we just did that one. But I think the pizza
Right.
box. We didn't talk about pizza boxes before.
No, the concept that the islands themselves are just a combination of these thrust sheets, I think that is unknown to most people. And like you say, these are popular vacation places, second homes, blah, blah, blah. San Juan Islands are known well. So if we had some sort of just San Juan Islands general show, and we use lime kiln. Daryl had those cute little fossils or whatever, and a bunch of things. Like, is there a spot where we could see two pizza boxes and the thrust fault between them? Just thinking out loud. I don't
I don't.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that a
Okay.
number of those faults were underwater,
Mm, okay.
so you have to go scout that.
Okay. I like that
Somebody
one.
knows.
Yeah, somebody knows. And viewers, by the way, if you have ideas that we don't get to here, we would love to read all of your ideas for potential. If you're a fan of the series and you're like, I wish they would go blank, we'd love to see your idea down below. So leave a comment down below, please. That would be delightful to read all those comments. Two more from you, Gary, before I go to a few of my ideas. You're doing
Okay,
great. Doing great.
twin sisters,
Yes.
twin sisters.
Twin sisters, because it's so bizarre and nobody seems to have an idea. There's mystery there, right? Nobody has
There's a
an
lot of
idea.
mystery.
What are the mysteries of twin sisters?
Well, I think one of the mysteries is, well, how do you get a chunk of the mantle on this that big on the surface of our planet? And it doesn't happen. There's very few spots in the world that have that.
Right.
So that's a mystery. And it's mixed into this Bell Pass melange thing, which is,
Hmm.
just bizarre since it is so huge. And
Right.
what else is mixed in with it?
And what's the age of the thing? Nobody can get a date for it.
I saw recently on somebody's strat column, they just put it down there as deep in the Proterozoic someplace
Yeah, I mean, come on.
because you can't get a date out of it.
Can't get a date out of it. We sick Mike Eddy on the thing. I don't think he can get a date on it. There's not the right mineralogy, as I understand it, to get anything to sample. So here's this holding up this gorgeous green rock, which I've never really seen in person, but you have. Basil and others going out there, and it's not just a face in a quarry. It's a mountain that I guess I didn't realize until I was driving up to visit you. Where was I? I took the back roads or
Oh,
something to get up to where you were, and I'm like, what is this? And like, oh, that's the Twin Sisters Dunite? That's a big mountain. I didn't realize how big it was. All right. Okay, we got more than 8 episodes already, I think. I don't know.
yeah. I got a lot more on my list, but I'll hold off on those because I'm sure you have some of the same ones.
Well, I do. I've got a few. Let me just read my list quickly, and then I'll have you react to my list and see if you want to talk about any of these. Number one on my list is Cache Prairie slash Burnt Mountain, which is up above Rimrock Reservoir, looking to Rainier and all this Paul Hammond stuff, which we're going to talk about on Saturday, this coming Saturday. I had Bald Mountain, but Pilchuck. Uh, Greeno Hanapikosh in Mount Rainier National Park with Mount Rainier in the background, but here's these little epidotes. I guess they're not olivines, little epidotes in this gorgeous submarine volcaniclastic stuff. I had San Juan Islands. I had Tiatin andesite. I had Mount Daniel slash Snoqualmie batholith. I had Chilliwack Rainbow. I don't know where we would go, but somewhere to just dig deeply into the Chilliwack batholith.
That's the airplane.
That's the airplane. Rattlesnake Ledge, just that's recency bias. I was impressed with the hike with Liz last Sunday.
I just
Uh,
want to say too, I was very impressed with the rattlesnake ledge, mainly because it was just so wonderful to see both you and Liz up there. It was
Thank
just
you.
really heartwarming to see her doing so well.
Thank you, Gary. Vancouver Island, the flood basalts up there, Nanaimo and Carmoutzen, like two different aged, we're back to Battle of the Batholith, but this time just a Battle of the Flood basalts. We got Rangelia age and we got Silesia age. And then the near trench magmas up at the Vancouver Island area, whatever those things are, Flores, or I only know them by name. And then, Gary, can you see number 11?
I can. Oh,
You love the Straight Creek Fault.
yeah,
How would we do a Straight Creek Fault episode? Why wouldn't we hike somewhere where it's just mountain scenery behind us and in front of us, but in front of us, it's like a record scratch. What? Why is that stuff behind us so different than the stuff in front of us? There's a big San Andreas Fault coming right through the middle of the picture. Those are my ideas.
I like that one.
Okay. That's
That
I
would
don't
be
think
that
I don't
would be a
think that
little more strenuous, but it'd be worth it.
Okay. Uh, would it be a nightmare to get permits to film in Mount Rainier National Park?
Probably.
Okay. Well,
I,
you
I
don't like
I'm I'm going to
you
stop by the local office up here in Marble Mount sometime soon and find out about any permits or what we could do in North Cascades, which would
in
probably be
North
similar.
Cascades. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we could use our resources with, you know, Stacia Gordon and Bob Miller have had a good working relationship with North Cascades National Park for years, at least sampling and all that sort of stuff. Maybe the filming wouldn't be much different. If you run into trouble with the national park stuff, I guess you won't, but um, that's a factor, obviously, if we're months and months of waiting for a permit to film someplace, which we've done before.
Yeah, I kind of think if we're doing it on along a road and we're doing it, like in the some of it in the spring, I don't know that it would be much of a problem, but need to
Okay.
find out.
Okay. Um, I think similar to what did I say I was going to do? On Thursday, I was going to dig a little deeper on purpose into Cathedral Rock and Mount Daniels, almost like a case study for us on Thursday, but it's also going to help us flesh out an idea for for this series. I think that Cache Prairie Burnt Mountain thing, I think there's enough beautiful scenery there and it's easy to hike out there. And a couple of the videos I've done out there, I'm just like, wow. I don't think anybody knows about this area and how much rich detail has been figured out. Uh, much of much of which I do not know, but I've got some work to do before this Saturday. So I'm pretty high on that area. I don't, have you done any hiking in that area? Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like Bethel Ridge, between Yakima and Rainier.
Yeah, no, but it's interesting. I've looked up at that and like, wow, that would be cool to go up there. And then
Yeah.
your video was like, oh wow, that's I mean a great spot.
Yeah. A couple locals turned me on to it. Ray Foisey, thank you, Ray, if you're still with us in Yakima. He took me up there 20 years ago, and I'm like, I'm totally overwhelmed. I don't even know where I am. But yeah, it feels like kind of a local's place. And part of it is William O. Douglas Wilderness, which may be a major problem for us. I don't know. But that would be high on my list to try to figure that out. That would be like a late August thing. How about last thing we'll do here is two last things. One is what would be the what would be the spring filming shows, summer shows, and fall? Like to me, what we were just talking about, Cache Prairie, I'll just call it. That's got to be late August, early September, I think. Um, I don't know why I'm saying that, but that's where I'm imagining we're up there. What would be spring? What would be like April or May if I can get away? I'm teaching 351, but I still have Wednesdays free. Where could we disappear to in May, let's say, with Brady?
I think San Juan
Yeah.
would be
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Um, I had Ohanapakash also on my list.
Nice.
And I don't know if we don't have to do that. I don't think in the national park, but
Hmm.
we can get Tom can point us to some other wonderful outcrops of
Oh, yeah.
Ohanapakash.
Tom from Maple Valley. That's right. Well, that's an idea. It's tough to beat that spot on Sunrise Road, though. Holy
I
God.
know.
And it
Well,
won't be till August before that's doable. I'm guessing. Well, maybe it's whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I hope
Keep
not.
going. Yeah. Right. Keep going, please. What else seasonally or yeah, is there anything other else on your list you wanted to mention here?
I think most of the ones I had are looking more like they're June or July kind of things.
Okay, well that's probably for the best because I do think we're gonna Mike Eddy here for a week and Isla Pamukshu for here for a week and 351 going out twice a week. I think we're doing so. I'm starting to realize right now I won't have the luxury to disappear this coming spring like I did last spring. Remember, we were going out midweek. It felt like two or three times a month making those
Yeah.
filming videos. I think I'm not going to have that luxury. I'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm just realizing that right now. But now is the time to start talking with Brady and just get a working list. And you were the one to kind of get this going by sending that email. So thank you for that. Final thoughts, comments, or reflections on the alphabet and what you're hoping that we will do before we quit at the end of the month.
Wow. Well, probably for me, one of the big ahas has come out of this was how long a period of time were the Cascades basically near or at sea level.
Yeah,
It's like, wow,
thank you.
all that green stuff that you drive by over by Lake Ketchelis, the Natchez. Also now that's up, at almost 8,000 feet in the Alpine Lakes and scattered around all over. Uh, those are uh, those were big for me, I think, to realize the extent of those in the Cascades. I'm looking forward to getting into this probably the whole thing here towards the end of with calderas
Yeah.
and big ones at Goat Rocks, big one at Mount Baker.
Well, you're the guy that got me going on that. So thank you. You're the one that mentioned that a year ago. Like, what's up with the calderas and the Cascades? And I've been chewing on that ever since. And I don't know how far we will get with answers, but just an inventory of all the calderas that have been dashed. Most of them are just dashed. I guess they're dashed for a reason. They can't make a solid line. There's not a clear topographic rim or whatever, but uh, there's got to be more than a dozen. Like, well, that's a decent question for this next couple episodes. How many? What's the number? How many mapped calderas exist in Washington? Period. And I assume most of those are in the Cascades. How many?
Paul
A
Hammond's
dozen?
map had a bunch of them. It seemed like, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like down at Mount Aix and Fife's Peak, I think both had he
right.
had dotted lines around both of those, and I think there was another one I can't think of right now.
Well, that's the point. I think that so what do you need? You need 60 years of one guy going back every summer to one area to finally get to the point where he can see whatever he's got, a half a dozen calderas. Now think, are there are there 55 calderas waiting to be discovered, and you just need somebody willing to devote 50 straight summers to go find them? I don't know. Or is there something special about that area between Yakima and Rainier? But you
Well,
know,
Ralph Hagerud, you talked to him. I mean, he found the one up doing his, I think it was when he's doing his PhD up at north end of Ross Lake. And then there's also the to the west of there, the Big Bosom Buttes, just east of Yellow Aster Butte, where we were a couple summers ago, which I don't know has been looked at really at all.
what age are those? The big bosom.
I think they're green.
Really?
Yeah, and that's right in
Okay.
the middle of the Chilliwack. I
Oh,
think I might have
wow.
sent you I might have sent you a picture of that one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm having a hard time keeping up on this. Um, there's green calderas. What's the one Hagaroon found? Same one you were talking about, or was that
No, that's
different?
the one above Ross Lake. So that one, the Mullen paper showed that as 13.
Oh, that's the Ram.
Yeah.
They must have named it after Dave Ram, do you think? The guy at Washington State
Uh,
who died in a
I
plane
don't know. I
crash?
mean, there's actual Mount Rom up there, Rahm,
I'll bet you. I'll have to
but
look into that.
it could be.
Oh, maybe I'll interview Hagerud and get that story. That's kind of interesting. So tell me that again. Okay, now I'm officially interested. If Ralph Hager is the guy that found that Ram caldera, that's what you're saying,
I think
and
so.
and Roland Tabor mapped it as a certain age, and then Mullen says, no, 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 it's half as old. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to try that. I need to. I'll email Ralph today and see if I can get him on screen. That'd be fun to follow that angle.
Yeah. I mean, the ages of these things, they do evolve over time. And just as,
Right.
there's this paper had been sitting there for what, 6, 7 years, and it's like, oh wow, look at this. New
The Mullen
age
paper.
and all these
Yeah.
new ages in the Chilliwack.
Oh, you
And
didn't
I
know about the Mullen paper.
no,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great example of how you can do excellent work. In this case, seems to me kind of revolutionary work, and it just sits there until somebody emails it to somebody and says, "Would you please, give this a little love?" And it's easy to fall in love with that paper. I think I'm serious. I think I need to find her, Emily Mullen, and I don't know. I'm running out of letters, but like that Chilliwack thing. There's a lot. There's not a Chilliwack show, huh? I know you say it would go in the Pat the Pilot show, but like, where would we hike to get a sense of the Chilliwack rainbow? That here's this scene with this vast amount of granite, and it's not one big blob. That's green, that's blue, that's not blue, that's red, that's yellow. Is there a hike in the Chilliwack batholith that you know? There must be.
well, yeah, there are. They tend to be fairly vigorous kind of things and probably involve more than a day.
Hmm. Okay. Well, have to put that one on hold. Final thoughts from you, Gary Paull. It's always fun to chat with you, and there's always good morsels. I'm going to use a couple clips from this in the next couple of letters, if I have your permission.
Go for it.
Okay, thank you. Final thoughts? Anything else to add?
Let's see. Oh, one thing I thought was really cool were Bruce Bjornstad's ice rafted erratics on Badger Mountain.
Oh, we're back to the list. Okay,
Yeah,
on
sorry.
Badger Mountain. Yeah. Uh, okay.
Just add that one.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I'll say I've been really enjoying the A to Z. I've had a hard time keeping up, at least with the live shows because of winter. Busy
Yeah. Right. Right.
doing stuff. Um,
Right.
but yeah, really enjoying that.
Thank you.
Learning a lot more about plate vectors and spreading
Yeah.
ridges and all that has just been really great.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Gary.
thank you for leading us through all this.
It's my pleasure. A toast to you, Gary Paull, Forest Service extraordinaire, many other things. Here's to you.
And here's back to you.
Thank you. All right, Gary, hold the line. I'm going to hit the record button off and we'll keep chatting. Thank
Okay.
you. See you next
Yep.
time. Goodbye.